Rob Armstrong.
All right, y'all, what is up? What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. And today we are talking about the Olight Osight. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I'm low-key kind of excited about this dot, man. And I just had to try it out, man. Right off the bat, what is my relationship with Olight? I have no relationship with Olight, right? This is something I purchased out of my own pocket. I'm not sponsored by anybody. Matter of fact, the following video from Rob Armstrong is sponsored by nobody. But yeah, nobody sponsors my videos. I pretty much do everything on my own accord, on my own dime. This is probably one of the most affordable dots out there right now. Now, is this something I recommend? I'm not sure, because we're going to get into that. I was mounting this optic to this gun and one of the screws stripped out. Right? But it was something that I couldn't pass up. From my experience with optics, every optic, every brand, every company has to go through its little journey before it is tried and true or respected within the community. I feel like Olight has the potential to get there. I have a bunch of Olight lights. I've never had their optic. This is the first optic that I am trying out from them. And there was a couple things that really just stood out to me. I love the FDE colorway. I love that it's rechargeable and I don't need no batteries, and it takes an RMR footprint. Those three things right there was enough to sell me, and then the price point. So anyway, enough talking. Let's get this thing open. Inside here, you have the Olight Osight, which is really good. Looks really nice. Well put together, well machined, all that good stuff. And you also have the rechargeable case or cover, right? Oh, nice. So when you push the button, it kind of shows you what the charge level is. And from my understanding, when this is on the gun, you do not have to remove it. You can just take the cover, put it on top, and then boom, it'll start charging. So as you've seen, when I first, let me take this out real quick. When I first check the charge level is full on the charging device, but the optic wasn't fully charged. So when I put this on here, it lets you know what the charge level is. So right now it's saying it's about a little under 25%, which is cool. I like that. Pretty intuitive. And like I said, this is right out the box. So yeah. Also within this box, let's see what else it comes with. Comes with some literature. Oh, little user manual, and this is, let me see if this thing is going to focus. It is very bright. You have, this is some screws that's in here, different screw pack. I'm not sure what this is, but we're going to open it up, and this is a charging cable. So let's see. Pull, open. I'm willing to bet this is just like a regular USB-C. Yes, it is. So you got your Olight USB-C. That's pretty dope. It's branded. It's got the little Olight on there. And then you have your adjustment tool. It's got that little skull in there. That's pretty dope. You got that. I don't know what this is. Let's see. Oh, this is nice. This is a little pouch. And I'm guessing you can put... Oh, that's dope. You can put the charging case inside the pouch, so it can give you some protection. And you got a little cloth to clean the optic screen. Dope. I'm liking it. And right here, oh, it tells you all the screws that it comes with. It comes with the 632, the 440, the 640, and the M3. And they come in two different lengths, a shorter screw and a longer screw set. Wow. You really can't complain. That is very nice. Of all the optics I have ever had, I've never seen one come with a screw pack like this. This is really nice. Oh my goodness, this is really, really nice, right? Now, when it comes to optics, there are some that I personally prefer, but I'm not really biased to anything, man. I pretty much got, man, EOTech, Trijicon, Hollow Sun, Vortex, Sightmark. I got so many different optics. It is freaking ridiculous. So I'm really not biased towards anything. I'll pretty much try anything just to give it a try. Now, one of the things that I mentioned that had my interest with this optic was the color, this FDE, right? For those of you that have seen people that make like lights that might be FDE, or for this specific instance, this optic, and you kind of want to know what does the FDE look like. Yes, you can see it on camera, but I have the elusive Trijicon RMR Armo 6, and this is the FDE. Look at the colorway. They are almost the exact same. That is really nice, man. That is really nice. So if you really like the FDE colorway of the Trijicon RMR, the Osight it's damn near the exact same color. As stated, the Osight has the same footprint of the RMR. I think that is a moneymaker. I don't know why other optics are not doing that. The RMR footprint is the king of footprints. Yes, it does have the space for the lugs underneath the bottom of it. There we go. And I'm just showing you kind of like the comparison from the RMO 6 side by side. But they look, the Osight looks really, really good, man. And the window is very generous. I do prefer a larger window, but believe it or not, the window size on the RMO 6 is not bad for me. I have a bunch of Trijicon RMRs. I still love that optic. This is probably one of my favorite optics. It just works. It runs. It's durable. It's tried and true. Everything. Now, let's show you. Let's get some weight in here so you can kind of see. We're going to go. Let's go with grams real quick. The Trijicon RMO 6, right? This is with the battery, so we can kind of see specifically or exactly. This is 33 grams. Osight already has the battery installed, of course. It is 47 grams. Interesting. Let's go to ounces. The RMR is 1.2 ounces, and the Osight is 1.7 ounces. So that could be something to be mindful of, is that with a heavier optic, when it is sitting on your slide and it is reciprocating, doing its thing, it might be a little more taxing on your slide depending on how your slide is cut. If you have just a flat optic mount that doesn't have any support lugs or recoil lugs, this might be a little taxing for your slide or for the optic just because it weighs just a little bit more. Now, if you have a slide that has the recoil lugs, it'll probably handle it so much better. But with a lot of the modern day slide cuts out there, I don't think you're going to have any issues with it. I really don't hear too many people having issues with optics flying off of guns nowadays. I think it's pretty much set in stone. Also, real quick, what am I putting this dot on? I am putting it on my M&P 2.0, and I feel like this dot looks really, really good on this gun. Man, I am excited about this, man. I think this Osight will do pretty good. It will. Now, I will say something about this, right? I was mounting this optic to this gun, and one of the screws stripped out. That is interesting. And like I said, this is around the box. If you look at the right side, that screw is in there and it broke off. These are the screws that are provided by Olight. Interesting. And as far as like what was the tightness on there when I was putting the screw in there, I had this at 15 inch-pounds, man. 15. Usually I'll tighten screws to 15. That's usually my thing. Maybe I might go 20 depending on it. But yeah, the screw just broke off in there. Not a big issue. It's something that I can drill out. Ain't nothing I haven't done before, but that is kind of frustrating. But that one screw that is in there on the other side, it is holding the optic. I'm still going to run this gun with one screw in there to see what it does. But besides that, so far, so good. Let's get after it and get this out to the range and put some rounds on target. Also, once you have your optic mounted to your gun, things to be mindful of is when you are charging this optic, of course, you have to put the case on top of the optic, right? So when it's sitting on here, depending on how much space you got, there is like a slight cutout in the rear. If your rear sight is very, very close, it might be in the way from the charging cover to go on top of the light. So it really just depends on how your gun is set up. Usually for me, guns that I have dots on, I don't really run any sights if it's up to me. So I've already had my rear sight off of this gun, but I feel like if this sight was on there, it'll probably fit because there's enough clearance in there. But if your sight is closer to that rear iron sight, you may have an issue with the cover fitting on there and charging your optic. So that's something to be mindful of if you're thinking about picking up this optic. When you go to charge it, based on the sights that are on your gun, will this cover still fit on there? You know, and this sight is pretty recessed into the frame, into the slide. And like I said, it fits on there good. I feel like if I had my rear sight on, it'll probably still fit. I think there's enough clearance in there, but that is something to be mindful of if you are going to get this optic. Yeah, but this video is not going to be long, man. I just wanted to show you the out the box what this looks like. Like I said, it is very affordable. If you are interested in it, there are a couple places to find it. But yeah, the Olight Osight, I'm looking forward to getting this on the gun and running it, right? Now, you know what? I'm gonna speak on one more thing, right? Me personally, I love a very, very bright optic. That's my thing. I like eye-piercing brightness. That's one of the things I love about Trijicon. Trijicon optics get dumb bright in my opinion, right? And it's just something that I really, really prefer. I'm trying to see if I can get if it could get the brightness on there, because I got the dot turned all the way up. I am doing a terrible job at this, but the Trijicon is super, super bright. I'm trying to look at this right now to see how bright it is. Okay, looking through the Osight, it is pretty bright. It's not as bright as the Trijicon. I would say it's probably like one step down in regards to brightness. What that looks like when it's outside, I don't know. We're going to find out. I think when I'm wearing like some type of tinted shade, it's not going to be an issue at all. For me, I prefer the max brightness, because if I'm ever shooting and I don't have any tinted lens, like just raw eyes out there, no eye protection, I prefer to have the brightness because it's just a little bit easier to see if you don't have no type of tinted lens, right? But we are going to see how that looks on when I'm outside shooting. Okay, well, you can see some dot, but it's still not showing you like none of the real brightness. See if I can slide him up here too. There we go. Now on camera, the Olight looks a little bit brighter, but I'm telling you, it's just like a stop down. Now, as far as what the dot looks like, the dot is very, very crispy. I will say that. Now, I do think the Olight actual dot is just a little bit more crispy than the Trijicon. And if you're looking at this, the Olight looks very, very round, very, very crispy. And the Trijicon looks a little not as crispy. And that's kind of like what I'm seeing. But like I said, I got to get it out in the sunlight and do some running and gunning and shooting to see what it actually performs as, you know, because there's what you see and then there's real, you know. So I'm going to get out there and see. But yeah, this was just a quick show you what's in the box, show you what it comes with, let you know this is affordable, let you know I'm not sponsored by anybody. So if you are interested in this, check out the Olight Osight. And if you are liking the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. This is your boy, Mr. Rob Armstrong, aka the Pounce Guy.